What's up, guys? Welcome back to the video. In this recap, we had Pax fucking dying. We had another person also dying, the main boss, who I forgot his name was. And then we also killed a whole bunch of minions, went down to the basements. That was before everything else. And then we made a call out to all of our wizard bros to come heal and fix Pax. And that's the recap.
This time in the back rooms.
This time in the back.
I love killing the minions. They're annoying little yellow Tic Tacs.
Yeah, they weren't Tic Tacs this last fight. You guys were not dealing with them well.
Hey, Despicable Me might have been a cringe movie, but Pharrell Williams was a banger of songs.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah. See, I'm here.
Sexy lad. I think you're also on the wrong mic input. You don't sound normal. You're probably on your webcam mic, not your headset mic. On Discord.
Do the funny sound. Scream into it.
Do not scream into it.
Do the funny sound.
I will kick you.
For the internet. Do it for the internet.
So,
pull up Larg
as
right
Jack
now.
said in recap, making you guys' way down to the lowest level into a large antechamber. You guys found a pretty small, but still fairly sizable ziggurat, average size, some would say. Along with Pax and Editaric actively dueling with a group of Vampire Spawn and Vicious himself. After an extensive combat, Vicious did end up killing Pax, and then seemingly taking his head to the ziggurat and used his last action and full turn of the combat to seemingly activate something on the ziggurat using Pax in some way or another.
He'll be fine.
And as the session ended, you guys had ended combat. Everything on the battlefield is dead. You guys knocked Vicious to what would be unconscious. He turned into a mist and began flying away. But Centaur was able to cast Daylight on him, which seemingly evaporated the steam. After his death, there was some kind of pulse that went out from the ziggurat that you guys, thus far, are unable to determine what it was. We begin this session.
Okay, is my mic normal now?
Oh, brother.
You activated a voice changer.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
What?
So, with this, I am going to let you guys know the active call-out you made for clerical help. You guys were the only squad going to the third layer of this basement.
Yeah, well, the rest of the team is just trash, you know, so they just see, I'm pulling their weight, man. What the fuck, bro?
Thomas. Thomas.
I'm sorry.
From the very first moment, I knew that was no accident.
Yeah, if you guys really want the real recap, all you gotta know
is Pax fucking died.
It's equivalent exchange, alright? We let one NPC
I've been waiting
die,
for
so
him
another
to
can
use
live.
that for so long. I've been waiting for so long.
I need to know
So,
that.
We're already getting derailed.
so
it's okay.
I will begin this
Keep
session. After taking mental notes of where most of either the Vox or the Sapphire Guard are, particularly the Vox, since they're the only ones who would have a healer equipped for this nature, for this situation, there is really only one crew close enough to even possibly get there in time. And it will be very, very close. So I am going to have someone roll me a d20.
Alright, guys, this is a really important D20.
I raise my hand.
On
Guys,
a...
does the party want to put the fate of Pax into the hands of our guest character
Yes.
I raise my hand.
and his role?
You're overhyping yourself too much on this. You're gonna fail.
I'm not over. I just
No, I'm
rose
talking
my
to Thomas.
hand.
You must
okay.
roll on the d20 either a 19 or a 20. And that is
Oh my
just
God.
for the group to get there. Not even necessarily successfully revive him. So, if you will, on Forge,
Alright.
roll me a d20 with no modifier.
That's a D12. That's the wrong button. There we go.
God, 12. God, Too bad.
We pray to the Lord. Lord, hear our prayer.
9.
Well, he did not answer.
As you guys are calling out, as this minute runs down, is there anything anybody wants to do during this time frame?
It obviously would not help Pax because people aren't going to get here in time. But I believe his head was in fact severed, correct?
It was separated. Yes.
In that case, I'm going to take the head and I'm going to use mending to unsever it.
Okay.
That way he at least has a whole body.
You're able to at least minorly repair to where it won't fall off. You aren't able to fully reconnect the bones together with the mending spell. It is objects, even though a body is technically considered an object by D&D rules. I don't necessarily consider mending a spell that can knit flesh and bone back together. So you're
Fair.
able to at least put it to where it's not going to fall off, but it is by no means connected back together.
But could I investigate this ziggurat to figure out what it was trying
You
to
can certainly make an attempt.
Woo!
I will allow you to roll either a investigation, arcana, or religion check on this.
Before he does, can I, like, as he's walking towards the ziggurat, I'm going to be walking towards our friendly little bitch. No, I'm just kidding. We're walking towards Sentinel. I'm going to kind of grab Linen, and I'm going to not just like kind of point at his immovable rod and then point at Sentinel, and then I want to. Does he have that little jar thing that he used? It's still in his hands, right? He passed out immediately, right?
Who, Sentinel? Sentinel.
Yeah.
Sentinel did seemingly pass out. He's kind of.
But the item that activated the
rousing.
thing.
Say, wasn't
You're
it a
talking-
ring?
It was a ring. It was a ring of daylight that he cast the daylight spell from.
Oh, I thought you sucked his soul up.
No. He evaporated the mist that was Vicious.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
Sentinel does appear to be, like, slowly rousing back to consciousness after just passing out. But it's a very slow process at this point. So, Linen, you're walking up to the ziggurat?
Yep.
Where exactly are you going here?
He's walking up to the top.
He's walking up to the top? Okay.
Then I'm gonna take a quick peek at Vicious's body. It's like, yeah, it's a.
Vicious's body is not.
Oh no, my bad. Sorry, I see the model.
I will turn the body invisible.
So now that I'm at the top, what do I actually see up on the?
So up at the top, these two like golden sarcophagi on either side of you with the head of a jackal. Effectively think what you would see like an Anubis statue to be, with a couple distinct differences. The chest, rather than being bare, is bare to a more fuller extent, as it is just the skeletal structure, what would be a mixture between a jackal and humanoid. Along with that, his left arm doesn't have a thumb. It only has 4 fingers with very long claws extending out from him. And his right arm is almost what you would say stunted, but it has 8 fingers on the right hand, all like elongated, but they don't have claws on them. They're just a normal 8-fingered hand on the right. And his arms seem to have like muscle around the bone, but they do not in this depiction have flesh. And there's the 2 on either side. And then there is just an actual jackal with, instead of its back, there is a flat, like, ritualistic table, which is where Pax's head was slammed into, but the blood of the situation was soaked into the ziggurat, so there is no blood on the top of this device here.
Lynn will kind of like.
I'm gonna say,
Did Linen at least a movable rod him to the floor?
You didn't say
Sentinel?
anything.
Sorry. Yeah, I didn't really finish that bit. because of the sunlight light ring. I was confused. Can you just hand me your removable rod?
Go for it.
Okay.
Another thing I would like to do is once Pax's head is mended, can I get because I still want to try and help him, even though dice roll said it's obviously not going to happen. Could I maybe sort of call out to Turok? I forget Turok's mute buddy and yes,
I'm here.
Nelson and Sakir to try and see if we can help transport the body and get it up to be closer to the medics.
Yes,
Pick 'em up?
you can. So
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
I was gonna say you guys will have to do it together because Pax is quite large, but you are able
He's
to
dense.
drag Pax's body closer to the edge.
Okay.
Anyways, continuing on with the investigation.
So what are you rolling?
I'm going to roll an Arcana check because it's my highest. As
Okay.
as Lennon is like leaning down, like feeling the altar, it's like I don't suppose he'll kind of just mutter to himself. It's like I don't suppose you'll give all the blood you took from Pax back. And as he'll just check it out. Pretty good roll.
Okay. And
6.
I do wish to clarify this. You are touching the altar.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh no.
oh no.
Also, I have Varys's knife on me. Very
Okay.
fun.
Can I make a perception check as I'm like hauling the body out to see him touching the altar?
Sure. Jade. Also, your mic is now on your webcam as well. So change it back to your headset, please. Yes, you were able to help him with the body. With a 26 Arcana check, this ziggurat, you being a little bit more knowledged in the cultish arts, considering you kind of grew up around that kind of stuff, you know a ziggurat is generally, there's nothing inside of it really in terms of like one's ability to walk in there and live and exist in any way. Like it is a completely enclosed, at least in this case and in my world, a completely filled in structure. It is not hollow at all. This ziggurat does seem to have very slight gaps around the rings in the altar below the sarcophagi. You assume that's where the blood was sucked into the ziggurat. Peering around on an Arcana check, you're very confused because this is not a type of magical formula that you're used to. And you're fairly well researched in the arcane arts. There's mixtures of necromancy, there's some abjuration, there's evocation, there's even a bit of enchantment magic as you're looking around the runes that are inscribed into these golden jackal statues. As you are running your hand along the ridges of the altar, you note that this is definitely some kind of sacrificial altar. It was not a coinkydink that the blood was sucked into it as soon as something was offered. You would assume that there is probably some kind of phrase or prayer that can be spoken, and then if something is placed on the altar, there would likely be some kind of consumption or absorption of that power. Now, even with that super high roll, especially with an Arcana check, you have no way to really recognize what that is going to bring about. Things like this. I mean, blood ritual, ziggurat, possibly some kind of summoning ritual, possibly some kind of trying to drag something out of its other dimensional prison kind of casting. But nothing's here. Nothing was summoned. There was definitely a release of the energy that got pent up due to Pax's blood, but you're uncertain as to how that was affecting other things. However, as you are running your hand along the side of this, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I'm not good at those.
Did you see my perception check to maybe stop him?
Your mic is still goofy. Your perception check. Yes, you did roll a perception check. Where exactly were you to start? Were you at the bottom of the ziggurat, or were you helping with Pax?
I'll say
You were with Pax. Due to the distance of the field, you probably see him go up there and start investigating, but also you're like, he's smart. He's probably not going to touch too much. But you definitely see him start touching things. And you're calling out, I don't think you're going to be able to stop it from happening.
No, I won't. I'll mention it when you say he's getting awfully close to the ziggurat, but I won't do anything about it. So anyone who's around me now knows.
Okay, will do.
I'm
No, Colin.
still
As you're
worried
thinking,
about
he
Pax.
won't touch it. He reaches out.
That's how Lennon dies. Is been becoming a
It'd be
sacrifice to
very
his
funny.
zig.
I'll be right back.
Be very funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, no.
somebody help me investigate these bodies for any secret phrases or words, especially that priest that kept trying to.
well, let's see what's about to happen to you constitution-wise, dog. Oh no.
Sorry, I needed my dice.
Does a 14 do anything, DM?
What is your current hit point pool?
9. Max hit point pool or current hit points?
Current hit points.
Current hit points is 9.
Did it fix it?
Yes, it did.
Sweet.
Oh no.
I'm gonna make a couple
oh,
rolls
no.
real quick.
Oh no, bro.
Oh, did no one do anything when I mentioned it? Everyone was just like, yeah, he's
I'm
probably fine.
carrying out
Getting
Pax's
close to
body.
Well, I'm carrying Pax's body.
Yeah,
Me too.
Multiple people are.
people
I
in the
should
back.
rephrase.
Rikus is over restraining Sentinel. I don't know what Wayne's doing.
Wayne's just
I'm
jacked.
just gonna big old pile of here that I saw mid-fight and
That's
left,
fair.
and
We
now
need
I'm
more-
going back for.
Yeah, we need someone to loot while everyone is
Okay.
doing stuff.
So, as you're touching
Oh,
this,
no.
you actually notice a drop of blood. As you're running your finger across it, you feel something wet graze your finger as you're just in this ridge of the altar. And as you pull your finger out, there's just a little bit of blood there. And you look down, and the blood is almost black, like jet black.
No, that can't be.
And as it does, you immediately reel over, taking 13 points of necrotic damage.
Oh god, he's dead.
Oh no.
He's dead.
And you immediately
Jeez.
lose one death saving throw.
Oh shit. He's actually gonna die
So-
from a ziggurat.
With everyone around, I am going to have Rikus, and I'll have Wayne just due to his high passive perception. I'll allow you two to make a perception check to immediately notice this.
They don't notice and he dies. Just.
DM, do you want to look at my line of sight?
You do have line of sight of this, yes. Are you paying attention?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I.
Oh, you don't? Okay. I didn't know if you were at that table actually, or if you had intended to move around.
Yeah, no, I'm at that table. I went back over there for the gold that I saw mid-fight.
Okay,
and
so you're
so it's
scooping.
all
You're
up.
scooping the gold.
And so I'm going back over there, and I'm like picking through everything that I had kind
Okay.
of eyeballed.
So
Let's see if the
Nelson
Crimson
and
Days
Rock-
Runner can save his buddy.
Hold on, I'm rolling. Perception roll.
Fail.
Ah,
24.
with a 24,
Not enough.
you
You need a 25.
hear the body hit the floor. So we will move to you real quick. What are you doing to restrain Centaur?
Okay, so do I have an item that can, like?
Just to try, do your
Hold
best to explain it to me.
Okay,
As long as
so
we're not
I'm
trying
gonna
to
kind of
close
use
the
it.
door
I'm gonna
from
use
the
this.
inside.
I'm gonna fold this pillow. So
Okay.
the movable rod, I know it's like I don't want him to be able to slip out of it, you know. And if
Yeah.
I put it under his neck and I don't restrain his hands properly, he can just push the button. So what I'm doing is I'm putting it like behind his back,
In his
and then
ass.
like tie like this, like between his arms, like his elbows, behind his back, and then tying his hands together.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
And then also making a daisy chain tie around his knees so he can't, you know, walk
Okay.
very easily.
As you're
And then there's, well, actually no, but I will daisy chain it around his knees, but That way, the
Okay.
immovable rod, he can't like move.
Which one of these restraints are you trying to do first? Because he is
The
rousing.
hand.
Okay.
The hands. So I activate the immovable rod behind his back
No.
between his
So,
elbows.
Either you're tying the hands or you're putting the rod in first. Which one are you doing first?
Well, I've been doing this whole time while everyone's been doing all this other stuff.
I said from the beginning with Lennon there, he was beginning to rouse. Like, he dropped and immediately started waking back up again. So it's not, I'm asleep for 30 seconds and now I'm starting to rouse. Like, he hit the ground and is slowly regaining consciousness. I will allow you to, for free, with no contest, get one of them in.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll tie his hands first,
Okay.
I guess.
So, you tie his hands together. As you're like taking the
rod and moving his
rod
elbows.
and begin moving his elbows, he looks up at you and goes, what are you doing? And begins like trying to physically stop you from moving the rod in. Do you respond? Or do you just continue trying to force the rod through his arms?
I'm going to lean into him so audibly other people can't really hear. It's like, for everyone else's sake, just play along.
He says, I can get out of here on my own just fine. I don't need your help.
No, but remain captive for a while.
That isn't much of an option in this case. I was supposed to be gone already, if you do not remember.
You also weren't supposed to be participating, if I remember.
I was not supposed to be. But I was caught on my way out. Vicious had questions. Then the assault began. Then I had to play along. Could you cut these, please?
You know how much rope goes for these days?
Untie it then. It is simple.
And when in this,
As that happens, you
So-
hear a body hit the limestone or sandstone of the ziggurat, and
Okay.
you peek
As-
up and just see linen on the ground.
As soon as I see that, I say, I think you can wait just a moment. And I grab him by the wrist, by the arm, and I'm taking him with me up to Linen.
As you begin pulling him up, he is actively trying to hold back. He's like, I do not want to be anywhere near that thing.
Yes, but you're going to explain to me what exactly this thing is and what exactly just happened.
Fucking know. As you continue leading
Is he lying?
him, go ahead and roll an
I'm
insight
like-
check. He stops fighting and continues with you up the stairs, but is saying, we need to get him off the altar now. I don't know why the hell he is up here.
It's a good question.
He does seem to be honest about the fact that he doesn't know exactly what this is, but he definitely has at least a little bit of information about it. You're not necessarily certain how much that information will get you in this, but as you guys...
as soon as we're approaching, I'm gonna pull on a part of the rope. That's that'll activate the slip knot, and it'll unravel so he can loosen up. And I'm gonna say, tell me everything you do know. And he's like, and help me grab Linen.
And he's gonna help you grab one side of Linen, and he's going to say, I can help him out of unconsciousness. Linen, I will have you roll me another death save. Don't roll a 1. Holy shit, don't roll a 1. A 1
so
would
close.
actually be you're dead. So the pair pick you up, and the pair of you take him down the stairs. As soon as you are off the ziggurat, he will cast Cure Wounds on you.
Nice.
And you are going to regain 7 points of healing.
He escaped death once again.
Once again, Linen win.
So as you're there, he looks towards you, Rikus, and he kind of slaps Linen to kind of wake him up. And
Dealing
says,
1 damage.
dealing 17 damage.
Dealing 7 damage.
He's gonna say, "Look, I don't have that much information about this ziggurat. I know that it was built for the cult of the Fourth Claw. That one right there," he points to the robed figure along with the 4 people surrounding him with their maces. He says, "They were here for a meeting with Vicious. I believe there should be information in that tent." He points to the red-topped tent that you guys see off to the side. "I don't know what happened in there. I raised the gate, I went back inside to grab the last of my things, and one of the hounds attacked me, seemingly figuring out that I was trying to leave. I was brought down here, spoke with Vicious, then the assault began. He began rallying forces here, immediately began a meeting with these members of the Fourth Claw, who apparently he was hosting. I didn't know of that, and neither did Varys." He's going to say, "The Fourth Claw worship a lesser deity by the name of Lotharak the Bronze Hunter. They control a few cities in Kondura, and apparently are wanting to have some form of connection, at least with Vicious, if not with Quentar."
Is that everything?
Thanks, Centaur.
He's going to say, Keta looks up and says, "I know that whoever that one in the red cloak was, it will be very well noticed that he is missing."
Understood. Well, it seems that whatever you were in a hurry for, you're late. And I'm going to hand him one of my basic-ass healing potions and say, sorry for the fireball, but...
He is going to, with 2 fingers, kind of press it back towards you and say, "I can take care of myself. I didn't use any of my own spells for this." And...
Well, get the hell out of here.
As you say that, he says, "I thank you for this. We will hopefully be in contact here soon." And he immediately turns invisible.
Thanks, Centaur.
Cool.
Rikus, I need to go back up on the altar. I saw something cool.
You hear a disembodied voice from a little ways down. "Do not touch that fucking altar again without a cleric!"
Okay.
I'm not even a cleric.
Lennon, you're like getting up? Are you like actively trying to move up the altar again?
No, I'm like sitting up.
About
Okay.
this point, we're gonna go to Wayne. Wayne, you're at this table. What all are you scooping?
Fucking everything.
My notes say random loot, including a hammer, sickle, pistol, jewelry, boiling potions, and a pile of gold. I'm taking the shiny things. So
We're taking the shiny things. Okay, so
Yep.
there are 2, like what you would consider handheld mirrors, which are shiny. They're one is gold and one is platinum with jewels encrusted inside of them. There is a handful of necklaces. Are you checking any of this, or is everything just going in a bag?
You have a bag of holding?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I kind of want to just roll a generic Arcana on it.
Okay, you can go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me. Okay, so 13. One of the necklaces and the tiara that you scoop up, you note as both being magical. You are unable to determine what type of magic off the just cursory glance.
Alright.
But there are 2 necklaces, a tiara, a like masquerade mask, but like encrusted with jewels, and then those 2 mirrors, and those are all the shiny things plus the gold pieces, of which there are 1,200 gold pieces on the table.
Nice.
Very cool.
So that is Wayne. Sakir, what were you doing?
I was
believe
moving
he was helping
packs.
with packs. Also, I will let it be known, just for future notes, I have Identify, so once we get back together, I can identify this magic stuff.
Okay. So, with that, you guys are... This is conspired fairly quickly, but you guys all note that no one has entered the room, and it has to have been a minute by now.
Have I heard anything over the comms regarding the primary objective?
The objective of Entrati? No, you have not. Not yet.
Okay.
But there has been no comms asking about it either.
Okay. I'm gonna scan the room a little bit, and then I agree, Lennon. Let's go check out the tents. However, I can see Wayne from where I'm at. Like, if I were to say, I'm like,
I would
over
say
here.
you do a glance around the room, you kind of move over, you catch Wayne, and you kind of see him shoveling the last of the gold on the table into a bag.
Okay. I see there's still much larger items. I ask Lennon to hand me Lennon, hand me your bag.
Last time
I'm
I
holding,
handed
of course.
last time I handed you my bag, you stuffed a bunch of blood in it, so I'm inclined to say no this time.
I have
Also,
your
where's
rod.
my staff?
Give me your bag.
As that is said, as almost another 30 seconds have passed, you guys hear the sound of heavy footsteps just down the hallway from the door.
Just give me your fucking bag.
And echoing into the chamber.
Hold on. Lennon will like, fine. He'll like pass right because his bag, and then he'll start like crouching down and trying to ruffle through this dead priest's. Like, okay, what? Sentinel said like he was something interesting. So
I
let's
thought
figure it out.
me, Leopold,
Okay.
and Sakir
Right,
were
'cause-
actively going down the hallway.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I thought
that
that's what
was
we were doing.
missed. That was missed.
Okay.
I did not hear that. Someone else might have
We
been
were
talking.
like, pick up the body and go down the hallway.
Okay.
Since...
Yeah, to
I
try and meet
heard
them
we're
halfway.
picking up the body and dragging it to the doorway. That way you guys were staying in the room in case anything happened.
No.
Yes.
Okay, you guys are dragging it into the hallway.
That was not my
You got-
intent at the very
There is still no way to get there in the minute. Just bar none.
Which-
you're
Okay,
story.
Yeah.
no matter what, I just want to make that clear
Okay.
because that was
Yeah.
the action I thought we were
So
doing.
Nelson, Sakir, Tarak, and Leopold are all doing that. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, you guys see as Craven, Ceramus, and Katarina are the first to round the corner and spot you guys. Thomas, yes. Okay, raising his hand.
Sorry.
to immediately-
Sorry. Claire opened the door at the exact same time.
I got you.
I'm gonna, as soon as I get the bag, I'm gonna step out, yell to Wayne, just yell his name, and I'm gonna chuck the bag to him.
Okay.
That's a long
At this
toss.
point, as you're holding the bag and screaming to Wayne, Editarek, who's right behind you, is like, what's going on? Where is Pax? And then he kind of looks over and he sees the like pile of blood. He was behind the pillar for this whole moving Pax's body out into the hallway. And he kind of comes out. What in the actual fuck is going on?
I'm gonna look down at Editark and say, Vicious is dead.
Yeah, I saw.
Pax is also dead.
I saw that.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know what all you saw. The battle was all happened very quickly. The rest of the party is dragging them down the hallway to try to intercept anyone who is coming down here to assist or possibly.
Yes, I was more
summon a
distracted
healer.
by the whole you letting that motherfucker go. But I'm not exactly certain what all is going on here.
I am not either, but I believe we are on borrowed time the longer we stay around this ziggurat. I do not have a means to destroy it as we've used all our explosives. So I need to investigate as much as possible now. If you'd like to assist with that, you're more than welcome to, or you can assist with moving packs, which you would need to make haste that they've made their way down.
Some of these cult members might have some information, although there might be more in that tent over there.
Well, all I know is the guy you let go said not to touch the ziggurat. So I'm not gonna touch it.
He said nothing about breaking it.
Oh, I'm gonna
I
touch
doubt you're gonna break it. It's thousands upon thousands of pounds of limestone and sandstone.
Well, there's an altar and statues. I'm assuming it has some form of control mechanism around those. But
Rekus, while I was up there, I saw some blood up. I saw some blood.
Okay,
You think we can
so-
use Varys' dagger?
Right.
is the blood still on his finger?
Whose finger?
Li-
Linen's?
Linen.
No, it is gone.
Fuck.
What were you doing with the bag? Were you still gonna try to throw that to Wayne?
I'm assuming I yell Wayne, I chuck it, and immediately Ed Tark's like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. Ed's also like, don't tell me you're taking all of the booty.
To me or to
It's
him?
easier to hold in a bag of holding, and the priest is probably going to lie about how much gold was on that table anyways.
True.
So, like I said, I want to get out of this basement as quickly as possible, but I have information to gather. You're more than welcome to assist. And I'm going to kind of point to Linen, who's kind of just been standing there awkwardly. And I'm going to point to the big red tent.
Okay.
And I'm going to move there.
Ed is going to watch over and keep an eye on you, Rikus, as you're moving around the ziggurat. He is not going to step foot onto a stair. But he's definitely watching out in case you also drop unconscious.
No, well, I'm heading over to the tent, not the
you're heading over to
ziggurat.
the tent?
Linen
Okay.
has been trying to loot
Yeah.
the priest during this.
Yeah,
whole
we're
thing.
Linen's been trying to loot
yeah.
the priest. Okay, go ahead and roll me an investigation.
I'm investigating the tents and shit.
Okay.
I'm not good at investigating. 16. Almost a 1.
You only find a singular piece of paper that seems to have detailed out in Celestial some form of incantation.
Oh, I know Celestial.
Do you want me
Starts
to read it
reading it
out?
out.
Do you want me? Are you gonna read it out?
Read it.
I'm assuming you do
Read
not
it
begin
out.
vocalizing the note.
No.
Okay.
I read it first because I'm not that dumb.
Okay. I will send you that here momentarily.
Okay.
There are multiple notes, so rather than send them all separately, I'm gonna send them to people all at the same time.
Okay.
So you and Rikus move over to the tent. I would like you both to make investigation checks there.
Excuse me. Man, you should have taken that investigation. I guess.
It's okay.
Linen's rolling okay today.
All right, give me a moment.
Damn. The only reason I didn't take investigation is because Aiden brought a really good point. So I'm not going to be investing anything else into intelligence. It's going to go into wisdom.
We also probably check those other tents on the other side of the room.
Okay, so the pair of you roll up. We have a 14 and a 13 investigation checks. So the pair of you walk into the tent. There is a small table set up on the inside of this tent, and there's 8 chairs set around it. However, 2 of them seem to still be pressed all the way in as if they were not sat in during any kind of meeting. You know that there were 5 out there that died. 4, sorry, out there that died. The 3 acolytes and the 1 like priest-esque figure, and then seemingly Vicious and 1 other person sat in on this meeting. At the table, there is a map that actually, Linen, without even an investigation check, you immediately recognize much of the landscapes, as this is a map of Kandura. And I'm going to actually move our active picture to the full map. And we're going to change the music. So in Kandura, our focus here, there is a map of the whole the whole of Kandura, and there is a line drawn straight through the center of it, just north of Kuth and just south of Attache. Below, in the south quadrant, you guys see the words written, the cults of the south, and to the north you just see the words written, the aggregate.
I'm so happy.
Shh.
Is there any other like books, papers, or things in the room?
So as you guys are peeking around, there doesn't seem to be any particular thing of note until Linen kind of looks around the side and does see a note off in like one of the side tables at the corner of the room. There's like a desk sat to the side, and as you're kind of looking at it, you would assume this to have been Vicious's personal work desk of some form. And there is a note there in bold red lettering that is also in Celestial. That I will send you that note as well, or just read it out, whatever you guys prefer.
I'm going to take the map and roll it up.
I would say you read out the note so that the audience can hear.
Okay, so that note is signed by an executor, Clartek Farewell. And it reads as follows. And you note its date is set to about a week ago. And
About a week ago.
About a week ago. It says, a partial partnership with your Quentar of Carceri and now the Caladrian Empire would be of interest to our great leader. The aggregate of the North has strength and devotion, but no social manipulation as your master has shown us to. Their false gods show no discretion and even less intellect. We would be most willing to offer our support in future campaigns of his if he helps us in the ways offered previously. The ritual table would be most useful to us even in the Caladrian coast. We would be most excited to host an official meeting with yourself or your Quentar in Tilg or a place of your choice. I'll personally visit the ritual table when complete. And then it is signed, the Executor Clartek Farewell.
Oh no!
Shh. Stop.
I got like a whole half of that note.
I will post it. Just for...
This means nothing to me.
Lyndon, did you read that to, like, out loud to Rikus? I'm in the time with you.
Yes, just to spite you.
Why did you... Well, according to my level up, I have Celestial now.
It doesn't take effect until long rest.
I know.
Anyways, he'll recite it to Rikus.
And then just for you, Linen, the note inside his pocket. There is no information, but this is absolutely some kind of incantation. It reads, Rise to our Lord, great and cruel. Rise to our King, with claw and tooth he reign. Rise to our God, as his rage creates our passion. Rise to our Master, that he may lead us in earnest.
Could I get a copy-paste message
Yes,
for that?
I will.
Thank you.
As he recites it.
Ragus, I think I know how to activate the altar.
Well, according to the note you just read me, we should destroy that altar.
Yeah, but...
I've had involvement with some cults before in my years. It's never been good.
Yeah, but isn't it safer to, destroy the power in it first, and then destroy the object?
My skills of deduction say that the power that is currently inside of it is in fact Pax's.
As you guys are discussing this, the squad who was carrying Pax's body out, Craven and Katarina roll up to you. You are dragging it, by the way. There's no way you guys are shoulder carrying even Pax
What?
his. Dude, Pax is like 600 pounds.
Yeah, and I got 14
Easy.
strength as a.
You got 14 strength. Shut up.
Sorry, 18. Sorry, I got 18 strength plus 4.
I was gonna
I got
say
12.
you.
My buddy.
You and your boy. If there was 4 of you two, yes. Not with Mr. 10 strength, the secure over here, and
Hey,
whatever
I have
Leopold.
They
I have
take the
nine.
front end.
I have nine.
No. So here's how it is. One's doing like the wheelbarrow, so I'm doing like the legs, and I'm holding up the legs. And my buddy's taking the front side.
It does not matter. You guys are not carrying 600-pound packs.
I like to imagine if there were...
I look at the other two and say, "Give me your fucking load." God damn, you weak bitches.
So as Craven rounds the corner, you see his face fall immediately. Oh dear. And you see a cleric round the corner. In fact, the same dwarven cleric who healed you guys on the top level before you entered into the catacombs. He runs up to Pax and immediately pulls out a diamond. However, immediately recognizes that the time is far gone at this point. Sliding the diamond back into his pocket, he says, it's too late for him. At least in my skill set. I am sorry.
Are there any other healers you can contact?
One out.
Rikus, you are not there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll ask that question.
Fuck.
He
Are there
says,
any other healers here?
there are many healers here, not many who are more skilled than I, and the one who was is sadly ash in the wind. The nearest healers would be in either team or possibly in the Vox camp. I don't know if any of the worshippers of any particular deities of strength have returned. It may be best for you to bring him back to wherever your home base is. Perhaps you will have more luck there.
We don't have time for that. I'm going to point to the three of them and tell them, you three, help carry the body. Come on, we gotta get him to team.
As you're saying that, the cleric kind of ushers you to calm down and says, young one, it is 10 days. They can cast it within 10 days in most situations if they are of stronger power than I. He has time as long as his soul was not consumed and he is willing to return to us.
So we really should be by the altar right now to make sure that his soul will be able to be reunited. What do we know about the altar?
What altar?
Yeah, the one that he was killed on.
I have
There's
not
a
seen.
ziggurat.
Craven is like,
ziggurat
there's an
altar.
altar down here?
He was not
There's
killed on the altar. He died, and then his head was smushed on the altar.
Yeah, he was not killed on the altar.
Huh?
But there was some kind of sacrifice using some part of Pax on the altar, though.
But upon hearing that Pax has 10 days, Leo, who at this point, like, his eyes are very watery. He's just going to, like, you can see that he had like a lot of adrenaline kind of pumping through his system, safe back before, and it just kind of all bleeds, and he just like visibly sags.
Craven is going to say, "You said there is an altar. Please lead us. I'm assuming it's just down here."
Follow me, and the little dwarf starts to move forward with the big war hammer.
So as far as Pax's body, more of like as a question,
Just leave
of, like,
me there
or anything, would it fit in my bag of holding?
No.
Not according to Zach's new rules.
I'm also not a big proprietor of. If it's going in the bag of holding, it has to fit in the entrance. It's not like it touches the edge of the line of the bag of holding and just teleports inside. Like, the whole device does have to fit in. And it's not a very wide opening.
Man, we need, like,
Isn't a bag of holding only able to hold 500 pounds?
Bag of holding is not able to hold too much in terms of weight.
So
That is
I
correct.
didn't think it was weight limited. I thought it was space limited.
It
I
is
thought it was both.
Volume of 200
can
pounds.
hold up to 500 pounds, not exceeding 64 cubic feet. I will also say, if we were counting gold, you would far exceed that 500 pounds by the time you get a third of the way through that. But I don't really count weight in monies.
Maybe there was also just some jewels in pile that was worth a lot of gold that's inflating the value.
Yeah, something like that. Either way, so...
Yeah. But let's at least get Pax's body back into the room and not just in a random hallway.
It's fine.
Yeah, you say follow me, everyone just walks off, and then Sakir's just there holding one of his arms.
A few members of the crew kind of round the corner, and as they do, Sakir, as everyone kind of turns and begins, Leopold and Sakir, you two just beginning to move his body back in. You see another group of 4 or 5 Vox members round the corner with what seems to be an elf and a human on either side of Entrati. Please stop. I will actually say
That is like
stop.
the worst way to find Entrati.
You knew that Craven was leading the crew to try and find Entrati. So it seems they were successful.
Definitely remembered that.
And
Definitely remembered that.
They were the closest. They were on the second layer of this catacomb. So as they kind of lead him around the corner, he's barely conscious. As you guys note him, he is completely naked, but for like a rag loincloth over his waist that seems to have been placed there by the group. As best described, he is riddled with holes. There are small incisions made, almost surgically, all over the place, along with massive bruises from what you would assume to be Vicious, using him as a punching bag. Nothing has been healed from him. You see, as you're looking particularly, there's like 4 circular holes, 2 at his neck and 2 just below the rib cage at his waistline that are like almost an inch and a half wide in diameter, and they are gaping. Blood is not actively falling from them, as if some kind of something is holding the blood in from these locations, but it almost looks as if a cord was shoved into his body, as he just completely siphoned of energy and anything in terms of strength. He is gaunt. His skin is stretched onto his bone. Many of his wounds across his body seem to have gotten infected at this point. And his eyes are barely open, his feet barely underneath him. They seem to have healed him a little bit, but it seems that magic can only do so much to the vast array of injuries he has obtained here. As they kind of round the corner, a pair of dwarves who were escorting them kind of help you pick up Pax's body and kind of drag him back into the room. As everyone just kind of funnels in, Craven and Katarina particularly, they begin making their way straight to the ziggurat. A few of the Vox just kind of spread out and begin taking in this whole situation. checking all the bodies, separating weapons from them, looking around. A few of them move over to the table and begin looking around. Leopold, you raised your hand.
I was going to ask, does anybody tell them about the altar and the ziggurat warnings, like maybe Ed or Tarek? Because I feel like Ed would say that if nobody else.
Absolutely. As the crew comes in and begins moving closer to the ziggurat, Ed's like, "Oi, don't touch that. That's big no touch. One of them almost died touching it. We need to get some clerics down here to, I don't know, bless the place." As Craven kind of walks up, he's like, "I'm not entirely certain that is how that works. Where's the rest of the crew?" As Rikus and Linen are exiting the tent.
As Linen exiting the tent, he's explaining to Rikus, "So I want to go up on top of the altar and then use Varys' knife to suck up the blood I saw, and see if that does anything. That sound like a good idea?"
I still have your rod. I just look at her.
Yes.
Like,
yes, but you don't have my bag.
yes, unfortunately, the priest has your back.
As you come out and are saying that, you guys see Craven kind of approaching you, and he says, "It would be highly unadvised to do anything with that ziggurat before we've had people far smarter than any of us take a look at it."
Well, then let me go ahead and fill you in on all the information I've already gathered from this. And I go into explaining that Sentinel, the one who they've all been briefed on.
Yeah.
I believe. Sentinel, who they've all been briefed on, claims that he got stuck here. He wasn't supposed to stick around and be involved in any of this, but he got stuck here due to one reason or another, and had to play along in our fight with Vicious, and did eventually turn and was helping us in our mission to take down Vicious. But what he had to explain for the altar is that you were, honestly, DM, you were talking faster than I could have typed my notes and also paid attention. So I'm going to hand it off to I'm going to hand it off to Zach, because I know he took notes.
God. The ziggurat was built for a group called the Cult of the Fourth Claw, who worships someone called Lotharic the Bronze Hunter, and they were here to make some sort of deal with Vicious and his master. And judging from the note we found, they made quite an they were quite receptive, and there was some plan for the Caladrian coast.
I would like you to roll me a history check at advantage.
Woo!
How big was this map that I rolled up?
Not very large, maybe 2 foot by 1 foot.
Okay. As he's explaining this stuff with the Caladrian, as he's explaining this shit with the Caladrian Empire, I'm gonna unravel the map and kind of just display it.
Yeah. It seems that the cult was from Kondura.
So you, being from Kondura, have a little bit of insight into this. So you were raised somewhere in the Divine Hands along that mountain, along those twin peaks. Just south, in the cities of Morgath and Tilg, the Fourth Claw is a rampant and very powerful cult. They're effectively the greater power in these two cities. They're quite aggressive, very devoted, and Lotharic, the Bronze Hunter, is a jackal-headed humanoid with whose left hand is those 4 claws, as you kind of saw in the statue. When you were getting raised up, they were not a primary power, but they were kind of getting to that point soon after. You don't know anything about this aggregate. You haven't paid much attention to Kondurian anything, pretty much, since you left, as you consider that mostly your old life, outside of possibly revisiting your family sometime in the future. But the Fourth Claw is a very, very dangerous, very, very fanatical group that, if they're having interests in the Caladrian coast, could cause some major problems.
Yeah. So, that's what I know about Nicole.
Craven's
But-
kind of nodding his head.
But given that those statues up there are very jackal-like, safe to say that they were trying to do something with it.
Yes, certainly trying to do something that we hopefully stopped. You said Vicious got to the altar.
Yes, after decapitating Pax, oh there he is. He took his head, and then went up the ziggurat and smashed his head into the altar. And the altar absorbed all his blood. And once we killed Vicious, a wave of power pulsed out from the ziggurat, but nothing happened. So something.
A wave
Something
of
happened.
power was released from the ziggurat. That's never a good thing. I don't know much about those, but I'm pretty certain that's never a good thing.
I do hope Pax's soul is fine. Was there ever a clerk to confirm if that was the case or not?
We will not be able to know until a stronger ritual is attempted for him. In all likelihood, we may have someone in the Vox camps who could do it, but I would almost think that you would trust your own in Revedan more. Since the minute has come and passed, you have days, but it is most important that we keep the body in good composition. Possibly reattaching things where we can.
Oh wait, that's right. And Lynn will hand off his notes to Rikus. It's like, we have to go reattach his wings. That's right.
Oh
So,
yeah, his wings did
Walk
get
off
ripped
to find those.
Yeah. I was gonna say once we get into the room and obviously this is going on, I would like to approach Stolius. Obviously, he is not in a very good condition,
No.
but does he seem like he is able to at least somewhat hold a conversation, or is he just even beyond that?
He seems incredibly weak, but when the two who are helping him kind of lay him down along the wall, he is able to at least acknowledge a thank you towards them.
At that point, I'm going to walk up to him. I'm going to crouch down next to Stolius, and I just want to tell him that I am sorry for Pax's death.
As he kind of looks up and barely keeping his eyes open, he says, his eyes kind of focus in as he sees Pax's body in the full light of this room, and you see his eyes begin to water. He says, I'm certain someone in Revedan, Lycus, will be able to help, I'm certain. He has friends, connections, if nothing else. How did he die?
He was fighting that vampire that kidnapped you, Vicious. It was a close bout, but in the end, it was a very overwhelming fight before we arrived. Only only Pax and one other of our allies against Vicious and a horde of minions. And Pax didn't even have his armor. We don't even know where it is right now.
As
Maybe
you
if he
say
had it,
that,
he would have survived.
you almost notice his face fall a little bit as he kind of looks up, and there's almost a twinge of anger in his eyes, and he says, How could you have let him go back into combat? He was just out. There is no possible way he was back to full strength. How did you let this happen?
He was still stronger than any of us. And I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Solius. all of this.
After the Condura thingy, I was intending to walk over to Entrati. I don't know at what point in the conversation
I'll
we wanted
say
to.
you go ahead, Leopold, continue, and you kind of walk up as he's saying this.
This whole plan of how we attacked the manor and how we wanted to rescue you. It was all my plan. And that means that this is all my fault, man. It just... I'm going to...
It was a plan that we came up with. What?
I just want to, like, hug Stolius and just kind of
As
just continue almost babbling, saying that I'm sorry.
as you do, he very weakly tries to push you off, but is like straight up too physically weak to do so unless you back off. As you do, he is trying to push off and says, "We can fix this. We can fix this. I'm sure we can fix it. Lycus will know what to do. I'm sure Pax insisted he be a part of it, if nothing else. But still, there is no way he was strong enough. I don't understand what he was thinking. He probably wasn't. It's very like him. We can fix this, I'm certain." And he just kind of keeps repeating that to himself. We can fix this. I can fix this. Lycus can fix this. Someone can fix this. And it's almost just a repetition. He begins. Yes, Rykus?
Do I walk up yet?
Yes, I said
Okay.
as
Okay.
he was
Okay.
continuing
Okay.
to
As I'm walking in. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that people got out what they wanted to. As I'm walking up, I'm listening to this. I put a hand on, hearing what Leopold said. I put a hand on his shoulder, guiding him back a little bit. It's like, stop putting all your weight on this guy that looks like he's about to snap in half. But I kind of pull him back a little bit, and say, this was a decision we made as a team. There is no single person to blame for anything that has happened today. There is no true leadership in our party, but I will say, in regards to Pax, he's the most hard-headed thing. He's the most hard-headed thing I've ever met. And I've met a lot of hard-headed things. And trust me. And I look at both Entrati and at Leopold. There is still time. As of right now. Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Keep going.
Go ahead.
Okay. And I said, as of right now, we are on borrowed time. But we need as much information from this facility as possible. Entrati, I need to know exactly what this thing is. Do you recognize it at all?
Entrati kind of...
I know you're weak, but I need you to focus.
He looks up and says, very tiredly, "Get me a little closer. Allow me to get my eyes on it. I can't really get a good sight on it from here." It appears, as you guys kind of help him move closer and closer, he says, "It appears to be a ziggurat, obviously, likely with an altar with ritual table on its tip. Vicious never spoke of anything during our interrogations."
Lynn will shout over. Has a bunch of different magical formula on it. Evocation, necromancy, a bunch of odd combinations I've never seen before.
He says, "This is not something in your skill set, or particularly in mine. this would be something that likely the Church of Tyr or perhaps the Raven Queen could have more interest in if Team or Rivacheg has something to offer. My advice would be, as he kind of looks it around and says, my advice would be that we leave it alone or bury it. I would not be able to destroy this at my full strength.
Thank you for all the information. As of right now, I need you to rest and know that we will take care of Pax.
We're trying to.
If we are unable to find someone here, I will do my best to be prepared to teleport us back to Revedan tomorrow. It will be a strain, but I might be able to manage it.
I have already broadcast to all channels the condition in which Pax has been left in. I just hope that someone is able to expedite their way here.
DM, is there anything... I guess after this, Lynn will kind of like walk over to the tents on the other side of the room to check if there's anything in them.
It is just bunks.
Thanks.
I'll say.
I do have to use the restroom real quick, but DM, I'm going to walk up to what's his name? Craven? That's the leader. That's the
Yes, that is the
at least the
Vox guy
highest. Yeah, the highest ranking Vox guy here. Him or Ed, but Ed's more just a fighter. Just know that I'm going to be approaching him next. But I gotta pee real quick.
Okay.
While he's doing that, I also need to go get some water, but first I would like to make a note of at least two things. One, Wayne, did you leave the pistol that was on the table, or did you take it?
It's in the bag of holding.
What all did you
Okay.
put?
I put the
Everything
stuff
shinies.
in my bag. And then anything else, I just kind of took my arm and went wah, to the bag of
Okay,
holding.
so you cleared the table.
Yep.
Okay. What a bitch.
They were complaining about not their fair share. So I took the shinies, which is what interested me, and then I put their fair share in the bag.
All right.
I also, one thing I did notice, there was like the dwarf with a crossbow.
Yes,
like the
there
electric
was.
crossbow. Can I like get that electric crossbow and anything that seems related to it off of him?
So as you're kind of going over, at this point, the Vox have kind of come in and begin separating weapons from any of the bodies just in case anyone is still alive, just kind of setting them off into a pile. As you kind of walk up, there is a half-elven person who's kind of checking the body, making sure he's dead. The crossbow has been set off to the side, and he's kind of not necessarily looting his body, but just like separating the armor from the body to make it easier to move and stuff like that.
I'll go ahead and assist, and just like this elf probably isn't necessarily in charge, but it still feels good to just ask him and say, "Do you mind if I have this?"
He kind of looks over and he says, "That is a obsidian god's arc thrower. I don't necessarily have the authority to say yes, but I don't have the authority to say no either."
Well, then I'll hold on to it for now, and have that conversation another time.
All right. So you kind of
Yeah.
pick it up. So how this crossbow works is its base item is a heavy crossbow, but there's a series of straps that lock it onto your arm, and then you balance it with your second arm.
And then I guess we can probably get like full damage and stuff later.
Yeah.
And I guess
I'll get the item made up later and give it over.
I'm gonna go get water real quick. I don't know if this will necessarily happen right now as a conversation, but before we leave, why am I blanking on this place's name? Before we leave the team and surrounding area, I just want to make a note that I just want to see if I can get within like letter contact of both Editarch and the like Craven Guild, just because gun people got to stick together.
Okay.
Just like I got to go get my water.
Okay, will do. Does anybody else have another something they would like to do before we go to Thomas and Craven?
I
Yeah,
give
can I get
Secure...
that dagger back, Lennon?
Yeah, I give Secure the dagger back.
Okay.
Is that a chest at the end of the table?
There was a chest at the end of the table. It did have a lock
I'm
on
gonna
it.
Uh,
And
a
there
lock.
are Vox people swarming that table at this point, just being like, this table has a lot of magical resonance, but there's nothing here.
Lennon will walk over to Win. Can I have my bag back?
Huh. Oh, yeah. 1 second. You want to help me with this chest real quick?
Sure.
As you say that, there's a dwarf who's just using his axe to try and break the lock.
Sure, I guess.
As you get closer, I'm actually gonna roll for this just for shit's sake. Yeah, as he does, his axe just goes straight through the lock, and the piece of metal just goes flying off beside, almost hitting you guys as you guys walking up, and he jangles the lock and is able to open the chest. It is empty, and he just kind of looks at it and disappointedly kicks the chest and starts walking away.
I didn't miss anything important, did I?
No, you did not.
Okay.
Is the chest worth a lot?
The chest is a simple wooden chest with steel beam supports.
Oh,
It's a pretty good
that's
chest.
disappointing.
Puts it in the bag.
Hey, Leopold,
Yeah?
come look at this invisible loot. I can't see it, but there's got to be something.
I assume my
That's
see
actually a good point.
invisibility is still up.
Yes, it would not have been an hour. It's getting closer to it, but it's not there yet.
What does
I
my
would like
see
to make an
As I'm
invisibility
saying
see?
that, I hand Lennon his bag back.
Well, thanks.
So, as you get there, would you like to roll me either an investigation or a perception, Leopold?
It will probably be investigation because I believe that is higher for me. I just don't remember my exact. Where's my abilities? Yeah, there are. All right, I will roll investigation.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that for me.
Hope there's a false bottom.
17.
So as you're looking at it, there's like this felt lining around it. And you look inside, you don't see anything immediately, but you kind of run your hand along the side. And it's not a false bottom, but you do feel like a little section on the back of it that you can almost get your fingernail in on. And so you kind of get both your hands and you press out. This little like wooden portion of the chest on the back kind of slides out. And you see a thin silver tiny flute. Like, fits in your hand, maybe 6 inches long. But it's pure silver, and there's some kind of magical resonance coming from it.
Dog whistle.
Can I make an Arcana check on that?
Sure.
All right, here's
can
normal. I'm
probably
assuming that
identify
it's
this later.
nat 1. So what do I
You're-
think it is?
You totally think this can raise the dead. No.
No, I'll go with that. I'll go-
Wait a
that's what
minute.
Jade was thinking.
No, you have no clue what this is. You're like, musical instrument? It's probably for a bard. I don't want it.
You guys think I can play that like my normal one?
I think so. It has some magical
Considering
resonance. I wonder if it has like
Considering
some
this is
special note that
magical,
comes out.
I would rather we see what it did first. I can identify it later. Now is not exactly the time.
I'll give it.
I'm pretty sure I've seen one like it before. Like it enhances the music that it plays.
Could I give it an Arcana check?
Sure.
No.
I don't understand why you guys want to do so much of this right now, but you know, I
I'm
guess you
actively
guys just
saying I'll
want to waste
identify
this
it
whole
later.
session.
Hey, I'm actively saying we'll do it later.
Alright, if we'll do it later, we'll do it later.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have like 15 things to identify. So
I'm waiting for
I
Turok
think
to
we
be
will, yeah,
absolutely kicked out.
Just for my notes, what did Wayne shove in this bag?
we'll get
We'll
to
see
that
what I
later.
have in my notes.
Okay.
I
Because
think
that
I
is a
have
large
most,
line of
if not
shit.
all of it in my notes.
And honestly, I there's a lot of it in his notes. I have a lot of it in my notes, but I'll go through and like finalize everything after this session because we're already more than halfway done. And we've got plenty of RP to do. That honestly, none of these items matter. Not a single one will matter for the rest of the session. We'll deal with it in between the next 2 sessions. So with that, Thomas is talking to someone else, so we'll delay his conversation with Craven.
Sorry, it's James.
So, as you guys are all kind of finishing up in this room, you've investigated pretty much everything. You've got all the items that are sitting around. A few members of the Vox kind of begin helping those who were previously moving Pax's body to kind of actually get it off the ground with 6 or 7 of you guys, and begin making your way out of the room. As you guys are making your way up, Craven makes a call on the radio of getting a few people down just to keep eyes on the ziggurat until the Vox makes a decision of what they're going to do with it. It's a pretty long journey to get back up to the top. You guys were like full sprint to get down here, but walking takes you almost 15 minutes just to get to the top floor. By top floor, I mean just first level of the building. Get out of the basement. As you guys get out there is just carnage. There's what you would guess a couple dozen bodies of members of the Vox or Sapphire Guard that are just littering the courtyard around this water fountain outside. You see one body. Bye-bye, James. Night-night, Bubba. You guys see the one hound that was up here ripping people to shreds was killed. Which means you guys have 3 accounted for. 3. You guys killed one. Pax and Ed killed one outside.
And there were 4 total, weren't there?
There were 4 total. Unless
Don't worry, they're
there's
just
someone
invisible.
elsewhere. And you do not see anything, Mr. C Invisibility, and either way, you're probably getting pretty damn close to it being done as well, if not past.
I don't have a spell slot to recast that.
We'll actually say that it's past. It's been quite a while since this whole thing started, at least an hour, with your guys' trip back up to the top.
All right, I am back.
There are
Holy.
also dozens of bodies of vampire spawn. There's a few different devilish creatures. You don't really see anything super special. The big old troll creature has probably 50 or 60 different like arrows or crossbow bolts sticking from it, as it's just dead on the ground, just crushed inside the water fountain. There are clerics and paladins, what healers are left, kind of going around healing the injured. As you guys kind of look around, the captain of the Sapphire Guard kind of comes over to you, Turok, and just kind of nods to you as like
A nod back.
yeah.
You know.
As you guys are looking around, the final counts of the assault is 23 are dead, with nearly 30 more wounded, leaving only about 15 to 20 of those who participated in the assault that are not hurt bad from this assault.
How many are of the
Sapphire? There were 5 deaths in the Sapphire Guard out of the 22 that were sent. 20 plus 2.
Are there bodies visible anywhere?
Their gleaming blue-green armor definitely shines them out compared to the rest.
I would like to just say like a prayer or like almost like a toast to each one, as
the other Sapphire Guardsmen have kind of brought all of their bodies together and have kind of begun loading a cart with them. They're all kind of gathered around, kind of saluting one last time. In terms of other reports, as Craven and Katarina get all the information, the werebeasts were noted, the ones that jumped from the 3rd floor, but they did not participate in any fighting and simply ran, leaping the 15-foot walls. There's the bodies of 3 psychic hounds were found, but a 4th was not. There are a few handfuls that escaped the perimeter lines. One group of spawn made it down to the coast. Another group of spawn with a ice devil in tow broke through the walls, killing 2 or 3 of the Vox that were kind of guarding that area, and were able to escape. But as far as they're able to tell, no major threats escaped. Mostly creatures that were either too cowardly to continue the fight after a certain point, or those who just noted that the battle was lost and tried to get out to reconvene with whoever else could survive later. Yes, Leopold.
I was going to ask, I know Wayne set the mansion on fire. How is that progressing? Is it still on fire? Is it all the way burned down?
When the battle ended, much of the building was doused by casters of the Vox or by people just getting buckets from the well. However, this building is going to collapse likely within the next day or so. Probably within the next hour, if we're going to be entirely honest. Much of it is still standing, but is thoroughly rotted through at this point as the flames have just eaten away at it. This building's fucked. This is not going to be a livable location after this. But it is it is smoldering, but it is no longer actively aflame.
Oh yeah, didn't Wayne get a short sword with a crest on it? Or something?
That's for him to look at.
That he did.
Alright, DM.
Alright, Thomas.
I'm talking with Craven.
Alright, what are you talking to Craven about?
So as we're obviously moving along, filling the area, I look at Craven and say, I have not received word from anyone on my side of the camp, back in Revedan. Is there anyone among the Vox who would have the capabilities of returning packs to us?
Craven is going to say, as much as I would like to say yes, I don't know of anyone who is actively there. I know of 2 who possibly could help, but they are off away on missions and are impossible to reach. They're not supposed to return for at least another week or so. So sadly, the Vox cannot help. Outside of... I don't even really think that's possible, no. I don't know of any ways that they can help. The ways we could have helped were within a minute. There are plenty of clerics in the nearby cities, or in Revedan itself, that would likely be able to help you with either a large donation to the church or possibly just some payment, dependent upon the situation. Perhaps your boss, Lycus, could call in a favor. I don't know exactly what kind of friends he keeps.
The Vox have done a great service in aiding us in this mission today. I thank you for, well, all of the sacrifices that you've made.
You have done us a great service as well. They were injuring our people more than they were yours. Many of ours had already died before we even knew anything was truly happening. I am sure there will be some form of alliance made post this. That'll be Finch's decision, but I am certain of it.
Vicious was an umbral creature, just like Pax and Entrati. Our organization specializes in these specific types of creatures. Should you encounter any more alliance or not, you know who to contact.
Yes, I believe that's part of why Lycus wanted to send a representative here. I believe he wanted us to become involved in the Inexorables. But that is for Finch and Stolius to discuss. If Stolius is up to it. He kind of looks back, and Stolius at this point has passed out and is just kind of being moved along in a stretcher now that he's on the base floor. He kind of looks about and says, I will leave 20 of mine here just to keep watch over and make sure nothing returns. I'm going to take my people out of those catacombs. I don't want them near that ziggurat. We just need to make sure nothing comes out of those tombs and, well, try and get someone here who can actually take a look at it, see what it is.
Understood. Again, if you do glean any more information, or
if
find anything you believe of import,
it'll be sent to the Inexorables, whether it be through Lycus or Entrati or straight to you, however we can get it to you.
It'll be much appreciated. Thank you.
Kind of nods. So, at this point, we have the question. Where are you guys wanting to go? You can go to the refugee camps. You could take the body to team. It would probably be wise to have a conversation with at least Finch, if not Finch and the Senator Lucar as well before leaving. So what are your guys' intents?
Spend the day at team resting, leave tomorrow? Question mark.
What are we closer to at the moment?
You're much closer
Would
to
be
team. You're much closer to team.
I think at the very least, the people who went to Senator Lucar should return to him.
At the very least, yes. But
We're splitting the party.
we're splitting the party again.
not. What time is it in the day?
In the day,
We attacked
it
in the
is-
morning.
Yes, you guys
Like early
attacked
morning.
at 9. So it is probably at this point approximately 10:30 to 11.
Okay. And how long does it take to travel from the Vox camp to team again? It's about a day.
From the Vox camp to team is nearly a day's travel, 8 to 10 hours. You guys are about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from team, about 6.5 or so from the camp.
Okay.
6.5 to 7, around there.
Entrati had a teleport point near the Vox camp as well.
Yes, but he's more than likely going to want to teleport us back to Rivedan.
Yes.
Um,
No, I'm saying. So if we go to team, spend the day, spend a bit of time there, then return to the Vox camp.
And then use
well, I guess
that
he
teleport
needs
spot.
at least he needs at
Yeah.
least 8 hours, I guess.
If we send Entrati to the Vox camp to rest up, we can meet up with him later. When when he has the strength, and then reuse the teleport.
Yeah, we could do that. What was the name of the lead? Was it ever given? The one leading the senators.
The Sapphire
Troops.
Guard, the Stone Sides. Tarak is not the one leading them. He is not the captain. Tarak is
So
you
the
guys.
captain was. I can pull it up. I got.
I have his name in like 5 seconds. Gotta pull up the right notes.
That's sus people. That's for the other campaign. Oh, I didn't write down his name. Damn.
I know that I said his name. I don't know if I
Who?
have it noted down anywhere.
I don't think I
Anyways,
did either.
we don't. I guess the name isn't extremely important right now. But
And what's the
after
whose name is
discussing
this?
with which guy?
Whose name is this that we're trying to look up? Is it not even?
It's
the
the name of the
captain?
captain of the Sapphire Stone Sides.
Okay.
I think it's one of
Was
the
the-
ones that I just improv'd and never wrote down.
Oops.
Probably.
Well,
Yeah.
It's not super important right now, but specifically his name. But after talking with Craven and then some minor discussion with the group of what our plans are, I'm gonna wave down the captain of the Sapphire Guard. And ask him we are trying to plan our next move. What is the likelihood of us getting an audience with the senator?
If you're talking about today, I'm sure you could manage something. He generally has meetings in the early afternoon, but by the time we'll get there, it'll likely be done. If not done soon after. We will be leaving in 30 minutes to return to the city with our dead. You're welcome to join behind us if you wish, go ahead of us or with us. It is whatever you please.
Are you able to forward a message to him of our arrival?
I could send a message ahead, but it wouldn't be to him directly. It would be to someone who could get in contact with him within near future. Are you
As
in a
long as he
hurry?
can be I look at the rest of the party.
Well, I don't believe you need to send too much ahead.
We will
Just
travel
with
with you then.
All right.
However, a message, at least updating him of the situation.
That has already been
ahead of
sent,
time.
that the assault was successful.
Understood. Then we will travel back with you. And I look over back towards Craven. Can we trust Entrati and the body of Pax in your stay?
Craven will look over and say, "We will take care of them. We will bring them down to the camp and have Finch take a look at the bodies. Any healers we have will see to Entrati. I don't know how successful they're going to be. He seems quite drained."
Understood. Hardy, anything? Team, anything else to add?
No, nothing from me.
we just get going.
Alright. So as you guys depart with the Sapphire Stone Sides, kind of all walk back to the camp, rally your mounts and horses, whatever ones you guys have, and make your way back up to team with the Sapphire Stone Sides. You guys get there close to probably 11:30 to noon by the time you guys get there. As you guys enter into the Grand City, the streets are bustling. The mood is very vibrant. The Festival of the Rise is just around the corner, and everyone is very, very excited. As you guys kind of enter in, however, just a cart with 5 bodies of city guard is not unnoticed by many of the passerbys, as there is almost
Well, are we able to cover the bodies?
The Sapphire Stone Sides do not cover the bodies.
Understood.
It is
When in Rome.
it is almost a parade of honor as it's noted that while the assault may not be known, and the city guard may have a different procedure, but these are stone sides. These are effectively like political guardsmen of the senator himself. The fact that they were even anywhere kind of shows something important happened. Team, unlike many cities, in fact, it would be more similar to Revedan than most, in it is a very, very calm and peaceful city more than not. And so whenever there is something that goes down, it is generally known about the next day, and they are not afraid to parade their dead as effectively a funeral procession through the city. So while it does become solemn, many of the passerbys kind of quiet down. Children point and parents kind of swat their hand down and kind of give them a short, stern talking to of just like, no, this is a time to show respect. It's something happened. People died. But as you guys make your way through the city up to that green stained glass building, there is a series of guardsmen who kind of walk out with litters who kind of load the bodies onto them and take them inside to be processed. As you guys are taken inside, you are fed. There's ale and meats and mead and bread given to you, cheeses. The whole group of the Stone Sides almost go from this solemn procession of a funeral to joy, rejoicing. You guys won. As they enter in, reports are given, some paperwork is done, and then you guys are kind of brought to a meeting room in which there is food. And there's laughing and jokes and celebration. There is still the memory of those that they've lost, but it's an honoring of their memory through celebration rather through sadness. After maybe an hour, the other two of his side guards, Tarak and Nelson, are one of the duos. The other duo steps in, kind of just casing the room shortly before the senator walks in behind them, and everyone goes silent, and kind of begins going off into their own things as the senator steps in. He sits down at the table where all of you guys are. What has your guys' mood been through all of this?
Leopold is very dour, very down.
Wayne's feeling pretty good.
Lyndon has like a kind of like a noticeably shallow smile, just kind of pasted on.
Brought justice to them heathens. Feeling pretty damn good.
Hey, Zach.
Yes.
Flying at half mast.
I think I might have found the captain's name in my notes. It was Jaharis.
Jaharis, yep. That sounds right.
Captain.
Sakir is in his notes. He's gone full nerd for a while, kind of drawing in as he's very, very tired and he did not have a good evening.
The senator is yes, Rikus, go ahead.
Right, yeah. Rikus, basically since we left the estate, has just had a very stern, grim, almost like steely look to him. He's just like very flat-lipped with a slight tenseness in his brows, but like he's just has spoken not much of a word in the entire travels up to this point.
As
almost like he's in thought.
Okay. As the senator kind of sits down, he kind of takes the pitcher in the middle and pours himself some mead and kind of drinks some and says, I heard you have lost one of yours. You have my condolences.
I nod.
And
That's what I do.
Yours, ours, you lost more people. You lost more of yours than us of ours.
Yes, we did. But that is the notion of war, sadly. But it was successful. I hear there are requests being put in from the camps towards some of the churches here in Team. Would you like to maybe inform me some more of what happened?
There's a big battle, a lot of death,
Well,
lots of wounded.
well, one of the primary reason for all the church calls are, Lynn will kind of like glance over the group. It's like, is it okay to share this info? Sort of look, but he'll like.
I'm
he'll
just,
continue.
I seeing your glance, I'm gonna nod again, kind of.
Under the Longwood estate, we found that the enemy had constructed a ziggurat for a Conduran cult called the Cult of the Fourth Claw. I believe that. Yeah, Cult of the Fourth Claw.
I have heard of this fourth claw before. Some
I'm gonna
demon
pull out
worshippers.
I'm gonna pull out the map
On top of
and any other info we have, and show him.
on top of learning that they may start becoming active around the Caladrian coast, the person from our side that died was not necessarily sacrificed, but his blood was soaked up into this ziggurat, and we're not quite sure if he will be able to come back.
That sounds quite sincerely like a sacrifice to me.
Yes, well, sacrifice, I guess, would imply that he was living when he was on the altar. He was not. was
There's
killed
a
before.
chance. There is a chance that the sacrifice itself was interrupted. The bullet I fired that ended Vicious, the extremely powerful vampire who resided there, interrupted his incantations and whatever type of ritual he was doing. And from it came a shockwave of energy. But there is a chance that whatever ritual it was interrupted, in fact. The Vox have stationed 20 of their men at the Longwood Estates to ensure nothing comes in or out in case there is any more hostile activities.
I will send another regiment of my household guard, and I will contact the churches of Tyr and Gond and see if perhaps the ground can be blessed so that the ziggurat may be destroyed. I am not a, how should I say, expert in these matters, but I will send what help I can to the Vox camps, or to this estate.
Understood.
Would you
Your
know if that-
involvement. Ooh.
Go
Go ahead, Zach. Okay. Oh, are you sure? Okay.
Yeah, go.
Your involvement in this operation will definitely not go unnoticed. I know that your parading of the fallen soldiers will be questioned and the truth will come to light. Your operation with the Vox and the tensions there among the city, but the success of the mission and the removal of a powerful vampire lord, or what is close to it, hopefully will sway the opinions of the people.
The truth will be, at least in part, released likely within a few days. We are not like the cities of Suno that hide the secrets of their dealings. Irregardless, I would like to know, do you intend on staying in the city for a time? Or will you be departing soon?
The party, my party here has decided to, have planned to rest here in the city, at least for tonight, before we make our way back to the box camps.
Why? I actually
Because
do want
we're
to question that.
fucking tired.
Yeah,
We're
but you
fucking
should.
exhausted.
Yeah, but you should get. If it's gonna be a
Also,
day's
like,
worth of travel,
It's
you're gonna be.
almost a day's worth of travel back to the box camp, which is between 12 and 16 hours.
I
I
thought
said
No.
earlier it's
was
8 to 10.
well.
It's 8 to
Okay,
10
8 to 10.
hours there from here. It would
At
still
that point,
be...
we'd take exhaustion, and we had multiple people almost die. They're
Just-
not going to take just one level of exhaustion. They're going to
But
take multiple.
you would be able to.
Just
Sorry.
because their numbers and statistics say it's okay, doesn't mean it makes sense for a party that almost just died to embark on a day-long travel immediately afterwards if they could just rest and make the trip tomorrow. It's not going to put them behind schedule either.
And the thing on top of that is 80% of our party can get a long rest in 4 hours. The other one can continue sleeping on the cart.
Lennon went down 4 times today.
Lennon needs the fucking
We
sleep.
could just put the
first off.
baby in the back seat. and the rest of
Please,
us can-
dude, let Lennon
Dude,
sleep.
Yeah, you
So
guys
we
can
need
go to
at
bed
least 4
early
hours.
and get on
Look.
the road real early.
I'll say this man needs a nap so much he was gonna take a dirt nap.
He was going to take a dirt nap.
That's just
Um,
grad school for you.
The
Okay,
senator...
I was thinking of something else then.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The senator
Yeah.
is going to speak out again. So be it. Your stay, room, and board will be paid for in a nearby tavern that we find for you. On top of that, I would have you deliver this. He kind of pulls a note out from his pocket and will hand it to you, Rykus, and he says, I would have this delivered to Lycus. I do not trust a standard courier. But as a vocal note to the Inexorables, you will always be welcome in my home and manor, and the Stone Sides will always be of your aid as long as the reason is reasonable. I would have you note to Lycus, most of it is in that note, but I will likely see him in Suno this next week for the Festival of the Rise, as there is a Senate meeting that I hear he is to speak at. On top of that, note to him next time you see him that his family wishes to see him again. It has been many years and they regret their last conversation. I could of course speak with him next week, but I believe they will also be there. So it'd be good to get the word to him beforehand.
We will pass the message.
I thank you.
And on the note of Suno, as long as the mood brightens and we are able to successfully bring Pax back, I know that we are likely to meet again then in Suno, as we are playing the role of escort.
I certainly hope not the night escort, as they are called here in team. But either way, I will hope to see you then under brighter, more kind circumstances.
We will keep you informed.
Yes. I don't quite know if anybody in this party qualifies as a knight escort, though. None of us are wearing plate armor or riding horses. I guess we do ride plenty of horses, but no plate armor.
Secure might qualify. He's the most melee
I'm-
of all of us.
The senator
I'm the
has
o-
stood up and left.
I'm the only one with is like, and then I turn and look and is like, I am the only one with honorable military service.
Yes,
I was
honorable.
gonna say, and also knights are very rare in the Caladrian Empire. There is only a few in the greater noble houses. There's probably less than 100 knights throughout the whole Caladrian Empire.
And
And then I'm gonna cough again and say, knights can fucking kiss my ass. They're a bunch of noble pricks.
Just like you
As
said.
I'm saying that as the senator's as is kind of, he said he was kind of
Yeah, he's walking. He's
leaving.
walked away at
Okay.
this point.
After he's got a somewhat out of earshot is when I say that. Is like, yeah. The knights can fucking kiss my ass. They were a useless piece of shits during the war.
All right. Good to know Rikus's opinion, so I can completely make it invalid later on.
No. I just have a really bad thing for nobles and knights because of a lot of pompous
So
circus.
what I'm
There's a lot of
hearing
pompousness.
is the Kier is going to become a knight.
If
Yes.
Secure becomes a knight by the end of this campaign, I might get on my knees and suck someone's dick. It's very, very difficult. to become a knight in the Caladrian.
It's like Pippin from Lord of the Rings when he says, I pledge my allegiance to you," to that fucking cherry guy. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Centaur?
And a Thor.
Thank you.
To put it
Yeah.
in perspective, when I'm talking about there's probably less than 100 knights, a high noble house like the Valkentons, who are the liege lords of Revedan, Ernest is of Valkenton, they have 4 knights at their disposal. And they're probably one of the 5 most powerful. They're like top 5 most powerful house, and they got 4. They are rare. They are not very common.
They're very good.
Rikus will add to his notes. It's like, I am not saying they are not powerful and capable and all those things. They just have a stick up their ass. Leopold, you
Just
completely understand how
like
much I hate.
The key,
That's
just a different type of stick.
And the worst knight I have ever come across just so happened to be brother of the king. But besides that point,
yes.
his face met a fist. So
On the off note,
Write that down. Write that down.
Write that down.
It was
Spies-
not. That does.
Yeah.
To clarify, that doesn't mean it was Rikus's fist, because Rikus's fist would no longer be attached to his body. Anyways, continuing on.
no, was it brother or was it one of, or was it his nephew? The nephew of the, I think it was the nephew of the king that I punched. I don't know. It was in an earlier session. I'd have to look at the recording. I always forget which relative of the king I punched, but I punched him. Anyways, I got demoted for it for a time being, but
Yeah. So you guys are staged at the Silver Hog for the evening, which is a quite well-known establishment in the central districts of Team.
Am I detached from the party now?
You are welcome to be a part of it, but I don't really think there's going to be anything.
I'm going to fucking bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Night.
Bye, Tarak. Tarak didn't even say goodbye. He just left.
Dang.
I don't know. No, that's how Turok said goodbye in canon. He just said, "I'm
No,
going to
no.
bed. See y'all."
I don't know, man. I mean, if he's actually going to bed because he has work tomorrow, I think it's very responsible.
It is.
I don't have work tomorrow, so
Bet
I
you
don't have to go nowhere.
Okay.
Hashtag clock doesn't stop on salary.
So, is there
baby.
any conversations you guys would like to have in between yourselves before taking a very early night, probably at like 8 or 9, waking up really early in the morning, waiting a little bit, waking Lennon, getting on the road before dawn?
Lyndon's
No,
gonna cut topics.
we're gonna kind of pool all of our bed rolls into the cart and just have Lennon finish his long rest.
Fuck, guys. It's like noon.
Yeah,
How?
right. By the time you guys finish, it's closer to 2 by the time the conversation's done. And then you guys kind of eat, drink, mess around for a couple hours.
Be merry.
Be merry for most of the rest of the day.
Well, probably not because depression. But anyways,
Yeah.
Dude,
what-
let's spend the
what-
next hour shopping, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyways, Wayne and
Oh, I can do it later. I was just gonna say I need to go shopping. I need to
like
pick
it
up a little something.
Do you want to do that
Same.
here in team?
Yeah.
Okay, so how about
Before
this?
I go to bed.
I would like to blitz through team
Okay.
and get back down to the camp like within 15 minutes of the next session.
Yep.
So
that's fine.
I will try and we're gonna end the session here. I'm gonna try and have all of the items at least somewhat prepped for the identifies that I know he's gonna do.
because that was the next thing I was going to say is that before I go to bed, I would like to identify the items.
If you guys have specific items you're shopping for, let me know and we'll see if we can find them.
Well, it's just a standard object. It's nothing magical, so
What are you looking for?
it'll be there.
What is
What is it?
What is it?
I'll text you because it's part of something.
Okay. Well,
Love to hear that.
You know, I
It's
forgot to
well-
RP.
Inch.
I forgot to RP
It's a
earlier
bad
on,
dragon.
but oh god.
I hate that I know what that is.
If you don't know what that is,
I
the
need it
internet.
here.
No.
I
Bad
know.
idea.
And I'm feeling
Anyways,
lucky.
no, I was gonna RP earlier on when I was asking Intrati to look upon the ziggurat, but I thought because of the conversation that Leopold and Intrati had, it would be a very dickish move. But I was gonna RP with the DM saying, Rikus is gonna check his bag and see if he packed his smelling salts or if it's still with baby. Can I roll for this? Just give him some fucking smelling salts to wake up. It's like, hey.
My God. All right. Well, a little bit of info. Didn't get through too much. We started a little late. We're ending air quotes early. My hope, guys, is that next session we get out of team real quick. We go down, have a short conversation with Finch, and then get out of here and get back to Revadan. Like, my hope is that we're pushing getting to Suno and the Festival of the Rise by the end of next session. Which, Monday?
I should be good for Monday.
I will say, I am not
I should be
good.
good.
I am not good Thursday, so it would have to be Monday.
I should be good Monday.
Alright, Monday, so on the 4th day, we shall reconvene.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be able to get started on time.
One other thing, Wayne. Can I just have the gun that was in there?
It's in Lyndon's
Yeah,
bag.
that's fine.
Well, as far as I know, the bag is still with him.
No, he gave it back. Actually, speaking
well.
of which, Rikus, give me my staff back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had
I'm like,
you've
yeah,
had
it's
Linen's
fine,
bra
I'll
the
ask
entire
Linen.
session.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I did give that back to you after we exited the estates.
He's just had it on him this entire time.
No, I've had it on my the entire time. No, I'm just kidding.
Alright,
I have
well,
no
I
use
like
for
the
it.
staff, actually.
gentlemen, it was fun, it was real, it was really fun. I'm gonna end the recording there.
It was funny reels.